Hi everyone. I was just searching the internet for some more people to have on the Nova Scotiable show. Like most things, my son tells me I'm doing it wrong, but I still managed to find two interesting Nova Scotians to talk to. So that's something. Let me put these away and we'll get into it. Well, welcome to episode 26 of the Nova Scotiable Show. I'm Brian C. from NS Live TV, and I think you might want to stick around to the end of the show for a new dashcam segment called People Driving Trucks Badly. I think you'll enjoy it. Anyhow, first up on the show is Paula Huntley, who is the owner of Huntley Consulting. Paula works on promoting women in business and building relationships. She's got 40 years experience doing this, connecting people with things like hiring, recruiting, consulting, that type of thing. Now, she lives in Kentville. She's a town councillor, and she has organized an event called Powerful Women in Business. And she's joining me on the show to talk about it. Well, I'd like to welcome to the show Paula Huntley, who's up in the Annapolis Valley doing some amazing things. So welcome to the show, Paula.
Thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no trouble at all. So you've got some things going on. Let's talk about this event that I noticed you're having called Powerful Women in Business. Tell us about that.
Well, with the weather changing, I felt a little bit of spring in the air. And of course, when spring comes, people are looking for something to do and a little bit of change. I have a business and I've been an entrepreneur it's heading towards 20 years. And one of the things that I've always loved to do is support other women in business. So I thought, I think it's appropriate that I will do an event that will be held the end of this month, April 29th, and it's 1 to 4. It is at a place called Main Street Station, but a lot of people will know it as the Cornwallis Inn, and it's
yes.
The ballroom. Yeah. So we have a fabulous keynote speaker this year, Nancy Reagan. She's from Halifax, but I'm sure she has a familiar face that everybody will remember. And she's going to share us a journey with us, and then we get to speak with her a little bit about her success. We have an opportunity for selling tickets that are $25 each, and there's also a chance, there's 25 vendor tables, so businesses can set up for a cost that will help sponsor the show. And for more information, they can call me or send me an email, whichever. And I'm also on Facebook and LinkedIn if people need to connect.
Excellent. Well, we'll share those links so everybody can find out more information and contact you if they need to. So you say you've got 25 tables that certain vendors can I don't know, say rent or purchase, but so
Sure.
they can exhibit themselves at the show, which is fantastic. I like that.
Yes, thank you. And there's 100 people allowed to be for the size of the room. So I call that a cozy number. and a lot of people use the word networking. I like to, right now, I think because of what we've gone through over the past, I'm going to say 3 years for sure, I like it to be building relationships. Because, I think the one thing that we're kind of out of touch with now is we don't know how many businesses have actually popped up that we don't see out there. So this is a great way for actually women to show us what they're made out of. And, it is truly a success for businesses who have opened up during the COVID challenge that we had. So I'm looking forward to meeting all those new entrepreneurs.
Excellent. Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, the business landscape has changed a little bit, so maybe this will help a little bit in getting people a little more familiar with it and what's happening in the area. So
absolutely. I'm sure that, some of the growth and changes, whether it was they used to be brick and mortar and now it have become a home-based business, that'll be a shift itself, and I learned that the hard way. That's quite an adjustment to do, but you don't have the same meet and greet when someone's just opening your door to come in and meet you. So home-based businesses for sure they have a challenge like all businesses, but something like this as an event, I think it's a great opportunity to get out there.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I mean, I'm in my living room. Talk about home-based.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
So,
well, I salute your efforts, and I wish you all the best. And hopefully this event will go over, and say hi to Nancy for me, because we think she's pretty amazing.
I will. And thank you for the opportunity to talk about this.
Oh, our pleasure. That's what our community TV channel is all about.
Excellent. Okay. Take care, Brian.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Next up on the show is Tyler Cox, an accomplished musician who wanted to let everyone know about the April 15th release of his new single, Leave a Scar, a new tune from his group Mahogany Hollow. So the best bet is for me just to zip it up and let Tyler tell you all about this single and his many activities in the Nova Scotia music scene. Okay, so I would like to welcome Tyler Cox to the show. Tyler, how you doing?
I'm very well, Brian. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, hey, it's absolutely my pleasure. So you are releasing a single, I believe, and to follow after that a few more songs. So tell us what's going on. Is it called Mahogany Hollow? Have I got that right?
Yeah, Mahogany Hollow is a folk duo of sorts. I play acoustic guitar and sing, and a Halifax staple of the music scene, David Bradshaw. You might know him with a big beard. He's been in the scene for, probably as long as I've been alive. He plays fiddle, mandolin, acoustic guitar, sings amazing harmony vocals. I call him the folk Swiss Army knife. I'm from Hamilton, Ontario. I moved to Nova Scotia in March of 2020, just before we really had a grasp on what was going on. We were packing up a U-Haul and moving here because my wife is from Wolfville.
Oh.
and she got a job at the hospital here. So she was like, "Hey, you want to go live in Nova Scotia?" And it was like, absolutely. The music scene is unbelievable there. And so I'd already started writing songs and started to record stuff. I went to school for music in London, Ontario, and music industry arts. The fiddle player that you actually hear on that recording, her name is Libby Rottenborough, and she is from a North Carolina group called MIPSO, MIPSO. They are a kind of folky bluegrass group, and I just thought she was just the best fiddle player I'd ever heard. And so I messaged her on Facebook or Instagram, and my wife was like, famous people aren't just going to respond to your messages, like you're just, like small town kind of guy. And in about an hour, she had written me back with, here's my phone number, here's my email, let's do something. And so I feel so blessed to have had her on the record. And Noelle Francis is who does the backup vocals. She's from London, Ontario. And she has a wonderful three-part harmony girl folk group, if you will, called The Pairs. And she also has her own stuff that I think is just fantastic as well. She's checked that out. And then Terry Ben did all the ethereal Telecaster stuff and the strings that lift the bridge. So that's how the first single kind of sounds.
For sure.
And then I started working at Long McQuaid, and that's where I met David Bradshaw. And he loved all the same music. And he's like I say, like a one-man band. And he was like, yeah, like I'd love to play with you. So we've been I
think that's a qualification to work at Long and McQuaid. You have to be super talented. I've known a few of the guys over the years and musicians there, and they're just amazing.
Yeah, and he's great.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who can pick up anything and go with it. And
yeah, those guys,
jealous, man. Totally jealous. Yeah.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too.
Awesome.
Not that it's not hard work, but yeah, some of those guys just, if it makes a noise, they can make a song out of it.
So it's coming out on April 15th.
April 15th, yeah.
And people want to hear it. Where do they go? Like,
if you go on Instagram, there is a pre-saved link. So Spotify, Apple Music. DistroKid is my distributor, so I think they get it out to every single one of the music streaming sites you can find.
Yeah.
Tidal, YouTube, whatever the latest ones are.
Yeah.
It's so hard to keep up with nowadays. So
That's right.
I leave that to them to put it all out. But yeah, you can find it on there. It's called Leave a Scar. The song was written. It's kind of a funny story. I had a roommate who was kind of wooing one of my female friends who would always come around, and she kind of kept saying to me in private, like, I'm not really into him, you know. I wish he would stop trying, you know.
Yeah.
And so I kind of said to him privately, like, hey man, like, you know, maybe it's best to just kind of move on. And so I wrote this song. It's not directly that word for word. It's really just about, you know, losing love or not being able to find love or, you know, anything like that. And being able to use that as a positive rather than a negative. You know, like when something bad happens in life, we have two roads we can go down. We can, oh, woe is me, and, you know, let it drag us down, or we can use it as a life lesson and strengthen us. And that's where the leave a scar, the lyrics and the chorus say, and if it leaves a scar, I hope you wear it right. You know, so if something bad happens, I hope you can use it to strengthen yourself. So the first verse is kind of from the male perspective, and he is losing his partner. And so he's got to deal with that. And so, you know, I say, like, you know, as much as you were madly in love with this person and they're gone, there is life after that, you know, and you got to find the happiness and the strength in that. And the second verse is the female perspective. You know, a girl that's, you know, constantly looking for love out of the bars and never really finding it. And you know, trying to say to her, you know, there's value in you still. You know, don't let this drag you down. And the funny thing is, by the time I had finished writing that song, my roommate and that girl started dating. So what do I know about love, you know?
That's right. There you go. Write a song and they'll get together. That's
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
you know,
what genre would you say you're playing in? I know definitely I'd put it towards the folky category myself, but you know, so what would you classify it as?
I guess you'd call it that.
It's very ethereal too. Like I find it's very rich tones and very ethereal. It's beautiful, really. I think.
I'm heavily influenced by, you know, a lot of folk artists, but you know, I also listen to a lot of Celtic music. My grandfather was a proud Irishman, so there's a lot of that, and so the East Coast was a perfect place to be for that. And I like bluegrass music. Maybe not the a million notes a minute bluegrass, but the folky kind of bluegrass. But I grew up on punk rock and ska and reggae music. And I think the cool thing about modern songwriters is we don't try to necessarily stick to a particular genre and say, I'm going to write this kind of music. I just kind of have a sound in mind, which is the mandolin, the fiddle, stand-up bass, brushes on the drums, and acoustic guitars, and like you said, ethereal electric guitars, and all those sounds that you can't quite describe as an instrument, but they just kind of float softly in the background, and that's the kind of emotion that I want to invoke. Is that's where the name comes from, actually. Mahogany Hollow. Mahogany instruments, the wood, the tone that wood makes is a very warm, mellow tone. And so I was thinking of this very warm, mellow place that my warm, mellow music would be set in. And the hollow is the landscape hollow, that area in the forest where you can kind of settle in, and it's quiet, and it's often between two mountains, so you're secure. So I want my music and my band to kind of feel like that, you know, that secure, mellow place where you can go and be with the universe, if you will.
Yeah, I think you've achieved that. Yeah, at least that's the sense I got from it when I listened to it. Mahogany Hollow, yeah, and the name captures it. Wonderful.
Yeah, great.
Cool.
Thanks, man. That's the goal.
Yeah, no problem. Well, I look forward to the release. What I'll do is I'll share any links I have. But there's a few of them here that you've sent me, and I'll attach those to the page, and then people can click and watch the interview and go and check out the music and everything else you're doing. Yeah, awesome. I hope to maybe connect with you sometime and see you live. And I see you were down the Carlton not that long ago.
We
a little
did
fundraiser
for
autism. Yeah,
with Leona, who's just a gem of a human being.
Yeah.
She runs Shine Blue. I think she's on her 7th, and that's all for Autism Nova Scotia. And so, and David Bradshaw had been doing that with her for, I think, from the beginning. And so she said to him, like, hey, I hear you kind of have something new going on. Are you going to do a solo thing, or do you want to do this duo thing? And bless his heart, he was like, yeah, okay, we'll do this, the duo thing. So that's how I got my foot in that door.
Cool.
But yeah, I also run the Loose Cannon open mic, which is on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. So if you're ever down on Argyle Street on Tuesday nights, come by, have a beer.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, who knows? You never know.
Yeah. I like I say, I really appreciate what you do, supporting local music and the community, and I know it's a lot of work, and it means a lot to us musicians. You know, Nova Scotia and Halifax is a competitive place with a lot of fantastic musicians. When I got here, everybody that I met, I was like, oh wow, they got to be one of the best singer-songwriters around. And the next person I met, wow, one of the best. Oh, okay, so just everyone here is a fantastic singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
And so
it's hard to be an amateur like me.
Yeah.
There's so much, talents up here, and I don't do too bad. I'm not bad.
I saw your page, man, and I was just like, oh, man, these are the kind of people that we got to support, man. Because
you're absolutely right. I mean, if I could get a little more participation, I'd have somebody else in this chair interviewing musicians all the time, because there's so much to talk about. Such a vibrant music scene here in Nova Scotia and Halifax that and that's one of the goals of this channel, is to bring that to people. So I appreciate you coming on, and appreciate your words and everything you're doing, and hopefully
I'll certainly
people
follow you.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot. Appreciate you coming on the show. And hey, we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it, man.
So, as promised, I have a new addition for the show this week, a short segment of dash cam footage I've put together over the last couple months. I call it People Driving Trucks Badly. Check it out.
So they. So they.
So that's it for this episode of the Nova Scotiable Show. There is so much going on here in Nova Scotia, and this show is an opportunity for you to tell everybody about what's happening in your community, with your group, business, charity, etc., etc. You know the deal. This wouldn't be a community TV show, though, if it didn't involve the community, and that's the whole idea. Like, private message me or email me at producer@nslive.tv if you would like to be on this show. As always, like, share, follow, subscribe, and watch NS Live TV. Thanks for watching this show, and have a happy Easter, and until next time, stay safe and be good to each other. I'll be back with more coming soon, because I'm going to keep searching.